feeling a change coming. I'm feeling a change coming. Right here, I'm feeling a change. I'm feeling a change all around me. No doubt, I'm feeling a change. I'm feeling a change running down me. Now, there's change coming. Now, there's change coming. Now, there's change coming. Now, there's change coming. There's change coming. There's change coming. There's change coming. There's change coming.
This is a spiritual war. This is a spiritual war.
I feel the rain on my skin. I hear my heart beating within. I feel the spirit in the wind.
This is a spiritual war.
Bigger than what I see in front of me. Deeper than the valleys below my feet. I'm in between two worlds that meet.
This is a spiritual war.
This is a spiritual war. Everybody's choosing sides, trying hard to justify. They lock the doors and stay inside. This is a spiritual war. It's not against flesh or blood. One heart, one mind, one love. It's time to rise up with the sun. This is a spiritual war. 'Cause it's a spiritual war. This is a spiritual war. This is a spiritual war. This is a spiritual war. Take the blue, the red. You wanna be alive or you wanna be whack. Ain't nobody got the time to listen to the truth they said. 'Cause all the truth they fed is manipulated, jaded, and fake. The world's got a lot of things to offer. If I only bow down and give myself a profit. I see the diamonds, gold, and all these fancy dollars, and whatever else they try to cough up, all just to keep me locked up. But I ain't gon' run with it. I ain't gon' talk like them. I ain't gon' play around sitting singing songs with them. I ain't gon' live like that in the pit of hell with my so-called baller hat. I ain't gon' do that. I'ma play the game different. Ain't no shame with it. I'ma win with no chains on me, holding on to victory as I walk in peace and talk with authority, knowing who I am and it ain't boring me.
I'm feeling a change coming. I'm feeling a change coming. Right here, I'm feeling a change. I'm feeling a change all around me. No doubt, I'm feeling a change. I'm feeling a change running down me. Been a long time coming, long time coming. Been a long time coming, long time coming. It's been a long time coming, a long time coming.
the LeCape Livestream podcast. We come to you guys every day on the week, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Central. We are going to be we cover a lot of different topics. I mean, this is really, to me, is a place where creatives can just come together. We can talk about mad science stuff. We all are trying to just do new things out here in the live streaming area. For some people, it's not been an area of interest. For others, it's like they've been living this and breathing this for years. But I think we're in such a unique time that it's now become something on everybody's radar. And I think it's critical that we all just, again, talk about this. So to get us started into this, today I had a specific topic, but before I get into it, I always have to remind you guys we have a new group. It's called Livestream Church. If you're not on it, join it. We are also going to be launching some new initiatives coming out of this April when it comes to live streaming. But the key thing for me, I always wanted this to be kind of an open place where we can all just, again, talk over live stream and figure out solutions and create some just interesting options for you guys who are out there trying to do this and again, create engagement with your clients, with your audiences. So initially, this definitely has been always a church-focused podcast because I feel like of one places that we're all able to do some really good work of rebuilding communities, it's the church. So let's get to it. We're going to be talking about, again, how to go live and how to use OBS to do that. Now I know immediately those of you guys who are familiar with Livestream just said, great, but I use vMix, or you're like, great, I use Wirecast, or I use there's a billion options out there, and that's okay. If you are in the TriCaster area, we still love you, but I'm giving it for those guys who are looking for basically low-cost options into this platform. And so for me, it's like, OBS just happens to be one of those things that we can do that, again, gives us low cost, and it's also accessible, which is also, I think, a key thing. So why do I recommend it, though? And I kind of touched a little bit on the other options. There are more. I think it's safe to say, again, TriCaster I didn't even list, but again, their hardware is expensive. Vimeo has their own built-in pieces of hardware as well, and that is also an option. But one of the reasons I love OBS is for how versatile it is. It is free. And they are constantly updating it. Now, it doesn't give itself glitch-free, but no software does. So bear that in mind that you're still going to deal with, with those things. So right now, before we kind of jump into this, definitely if there is a friend who wants to, learn about OBS, learn about what in the world that is, basically how to stream from your computer and do some really cool stuff. So I think it's helpful for us to kind of see maybe what that might necessarily look like. And I think, there might be a way of highlighting that. We'll just give that a shot here. Oh, it looks like my current connection. Those are goats, by the way, so don't worry about that. But yes, we're gonna just go ahead and dive right in. So if you're joining us, I'm gonna wait a couple seconds here before we kind of start on topic. It looks like we've got a couple people viewing. One other thing I will recommend, if you are watching this from a watch party, I won't be able to see your comments. So that's just an unfortunate reality. If you've shared this through a watch party and I start, if you want to throw in your questions and comments, you're going to have to hop on that original stream. So just as a heads up for you guys. So let's dive into OBS. I think it's fair to ask you guys already, for those who are, online and live right now, are you using, if you can put in your comments, just so I can see kind of what everybody's doing. Are you using, OBS to go live? Are you using Wirecast? Are you using vMix? Are you just going straight from your phone? What are kind of those options that you guys are doing, so I can kind of see again what it is that you guys are utilizing for your streaming? So go ahead and hit that into the comments as you guys come in. Again, the question is, what are you currently using? So I'm going to just wait a couple seconds as you guys get in that and figure that out. Just checking here too for comments here, seeing what everybody's doing here. So it looks like I think it's lovely hearing myself here. But so here's the thing. As you guys go live onto this, one of the reasons I pitch it is, again, it's a free piece of software. It's something great that you can leverage when you're doing it. There we go. Sorry, Apologies, I'm just got to do my due diligence here. So OBS is a great and powerful software, but let's talk about the issues that we run into here with OBS. And one of those, you know, like I said, it's free. The other options here that are not, Wirecast is a great option. It is very powerful. It's Mac and PC platforms, but you're looking at $7.99 yearly, and that is pretty painful. You know, obviously, if you're a larger scale organization, Wirecast is actually something you want to look at. And there's a whole separate video that I can discuss with why Wirecast is actually something positive to do. But you know, right now we're dealing just with OBS. Streamlabs, if you're in the video game section and you were trying to highlight video games, Streamlabs has some pretty awesome plugins that you can pull into it. The only trouble on the Mac side, it literally is like in beta. The release of it, they rushed it to market because they realized live streaming is huge and they were losing out to OBS and other platforms. vMix we talked about is Windows only, also a great piece of software, but again, there's pros and cons to all these kind of setups. But the funny thing is on the Mac side, you're not really limited on what you're able to utilize because again, Blackmagic is a great Mac partner. They're also a great Windows partner, produce great stuff. There's a bunch of other options too. TriCaster, as I mentioned before, was not listed, but one of the reasons I love OBS is it's free and it's ridiculously powerful. So one of the things I want to talk over towards that is what are the things that you can do in OBS that you can't do somewhere else? You can have multiple cameras in here. I've demoed on prior episodes the ability to, again, pull in iPhone feeds. You can pull those in. You can, you know, literally pull in graphics and video. You can do transparency. And I actually demoed that yesterday when I put an emoji head on my own and started doing the podcast from that. Granted, and I will say this for those who were watching yesterday, we ran into an audio glitch. And fascinating thing when you both discover, you know, your audio cable itself had finally bit the dust. So we're using the replacement, which is great, but sad because that was one good, that thing lasted me 7 years and was appreciative to that. But some other awesome stuff you can do too. You can do stingers and transitions. And this is something I will highlight. I didn't have time to implement it today. I try to make a point of highlighting this stuff and utilizing it basically within 30, I believe my time frame I give is like 30 minutes to 45 minutes of actual preparing this stuff. So it's kind of difficult because, you know, with time crunches, you can't always add in what you could. Yesterday was pretty nuts because I was aiming to just have the ability to highlight video game streaming, to highlight an emoji on your face, and also how to, you know, use your iPhone to stream. So if you missed it on Mondays are a great time to check it out. Specifically because on Mondays I give a segment to where you can literally control my live stream. I'll give you 3 different options. I'm going to that. Thank you, Blaine Spires. I see that you're currently, you've got 3 Sony cameras, which I love Sony. I'm currently using Sony right now, and I'm a fan. Just color science is great, but I am also, you know, there's room to be said for Blackmagic. I love their ATEMs, their software. Like they take things that should be expensive and make them great and low cost. Vimeo's live stream. Vimeo is also a good platform for restreaming. It is expensive, but you know, obviously you're getting the reliability, and more importantly, if you're controlling the message, it's good. But one of the things to definitely utilize in Vimeo, and we've talked about it in prior videos, is to restream and get that, use that feature and get people around it so that you can have moderators functioning on all those different platforms. OBS, and this is interesting, he mentions too something that I want to highlight in future videos here. So like I said, every tomorrow I'll take on Instagram. We'll just take on Instagram tomorrow. Instagram is kind of an interesting problem because YouTube, you know, if we were to take a look, and I know I'm pausing here on OBS, but I think it's a valid point to just kind of touch on this. YouTube, I view as the platform for smart TVs. If you are wanting to watch long format stuff, YouTube is awesome for it because it essentially, while it does distract you with a million different videos after you've watched through the clip, it does slow your pace down, so you're able to enjoy it. And so it's kind of funny, again, that there's benefits to it and there's negatives, but Smart TVs is generally where you find that, or hardcore YouTube users. Facebook generally is a very viral platform, so you want to definitely have people who are engaging and doing that. Instagram, the difference between Facebook, YouTube, like right now I am restreaming, so I'm literally hitting up Facebook, I'm hitting up Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, Mixer, and I can add in Instagram as well. But the issue that you run into it again is the format right now is not conducive for it. So you literally have to reformat what you're doing to Instagram to get that portrait viewpoint. If you don't, Instagram will automatically crop it. I did an Instagram live here last week. And one of the interesting things with Instagram though, and it's Yellow Duck is the software, and it's kind of a pain because you literally have a 4-minute window to get yourself live, which is really rather tough. 4 minutes to push it onto Instagram, and if you don't, you missed your window, sorry, no dice. Now there's a ton of potential to it, but again, treating each platform as a first-class experience for your audience is critical. For us right now, I do use Restream, but part of the reason is I get all the chat, with the exception of the people in watch parties. Sorry, I don't see you guys. I don't see your chats, but I see Blaine, I see Facebook user because you hid yourself in privacy, but it's cool. But I see you guys collected here into one single chat window. So if you're commenting from YouTube, I get those. If you are commenting from Twitch, I see those, and I can actually respond in real time to that. So the benefit of it again is, while on Vimeo, again, great servers, great upload abilities. There are times where they go down. I've used them for years, like as a pro user. They have their down moments, but when they do, they're not that many. It's like maybe 3 days out of the year. So one of those things just to keep in mind. But for OBS, and this is kind of where, again, some interesting things you can do, adding in transitions, adding in stingers, stuff that, in the case of Blaine, he's able to use that in the Blackmagic ATEM 4K. He doesn't, I don't know if you've got the 1ME version, which some pretty cool stuff that I'm actually trying to make happen. Right now I'm actually leveraging essentially OBS to be a 1ME. And I know I'm throwing out some terminology, but basically a Blackmagic ATEM, you have your 4K, which just lets you essentially do chroma keys. You can, cut between videos. A 1ME lets you literally do split screens up to 4. And some really cool ideas can come out of that because, again, you can leverage technologies in ways that haven't been done. And one of the biggest, I think, hurdles we always hit is bandwidth. And we always have problems of there's only so much you can do when you're actually bumping, you're bumping into bandwidth issues all the time. So services like Vimeo, services like Restream, services like Caster, you're trying to limit the amount of things that you're doing to stream out. But the other awesome things you can do as well is network sources. And this is available to the other pieces too. So it's not just OBS that does this. A lot of these pieces also the other software has. To be honest, I think Wirecast is actually pulling from the OBS software anyways, but it's cool. But network sources like NDI and Siphon are great because you can actually pull in, part of those tricks are some of the things that you can do that really make for a really cool experience. And I'm actually going to quick demo. We'll give it a shot here. I had it asleep here, so go figure. That's probably why it was acting weird. But we're going to demo this real quick. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're giving it a shot. So I'm going to highlight real quick a technique that I did, which is basically to have my head on, right next to a goat. Although I am really low right now, so it's actually quite awkward. I'm going to just move my head up to make it less awkward. But effectively, you can do crazy stuff like this, where you can bring in, using OBS and literally move things around in real time. Now, granted, I am looking at a goat, and so that's pretty weird. That's not cool to just look at a goat's butt. So we're gonna change it up. I'm gonna go 80s style here. There we go. We are featuring Max Headroom right now, for those of you guys who know what that movie is. But the ability, again, to do stuff like this, you can do in Restream in real time, and all this stuff is happening. I'm pulling in multiple different sources. I've got stock video that's looping. I also have got my head, which is obviously awkwardly placed on here. So, but you can do crazy stuff like this. And it's also a really powerful tool. I'll quick hop here out of this and we'll kind of continue on with our slideshow. So sorry about it, but thanks for joining us. I would be Santa next time, but again, that's just not what I'm doing. So as we said, Animoji, iPhone filters, there's some crazy stuff you can do with that. You also are able to do what's known as a master view. One of the cool things you can do is, again, on the master view, or I should say multi-view, not multi-view. Pardon the glitch. Multi-view, which is kind of similar to what ATEM has, the ability to do a master. You can bring in zoom into it as well. Now on the Mac there are limitations. There's also a way to natively do it, push zoom out. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be doing that. I'll be taking a Zoom conference and translating it and adding in lower thirds and graphics. Same with video with the alpha channel you can bring in, which is awesome. I mentioned obviously iPhone filters, and this is just scratching the surface. There's some really crazy things that you can do. Even talking with, which I don't think he's on the chat because he's probably busy, but one of the guys that I know who works in VR, which props to him, he launched Color Space. It's a brand new VR coloring application that's done really well. But one of the things that he always has done is he's been heavily into the VR space, and it's been my goal to push VR in live, which I think is a really fun idea, more in art installations and things like that. Other crazy things you can do too, you have the FTL protocol. So what the heck is that? The FTL protocol is essentially Mixer's protocol. So what the heck is Mixer besides an audio mixer? Mixer is a service from Microsoft that one of their big pitches was to basically replace the atypical connections that you would make through Facebook, through YouTube, and all these things with a very low latency feed. And what you're able to do when you have low latency is literally instant communications can happen. Now, Facebook, the app, when you're leveraging it on your phone or on Instagram, is tuned to that. But then when you bring in like a third party, like Vimeo, you bring in Restream, you bring in Wirecast, you bring in Boxcast, one of those things in there, YouTube just says, all right, sweet, you are not part of the original family, so I'm going to just slow you down. So they, again, and they do this all the time with everything, which brings me to the benefits of FTL is, again, low latency and just getting the things out there quickly, which is awesome. So you get interactive chats that are much faster. There's just a lot of good benefits to it. Now, one of the things I did want to also mention was this is not even in the news yet. It will be, but Facebook and Instagram finally are doing something that's just extremely simple. So in Instagram, it literally is its own separated platform, and they love it that way. That's fine. I give you options of yellow duck. It's fine. One of the powerful features that they're doing there, which has not been announced yet, is they will actually be enabling you to stream from Instagram to Facebook, which is it's just like, why the heck not? So just literally a thumb switch, and you are now also broadcasting to Facebook. Thus, again, it's just obvious, but some people get higher engagement in Instagram, so being able to share it there is great. But if you think about it, that's great for an iPhone user who's not trying to spend money. If you think about it, someone who is, someone who's trying to control the content, that's not really a great solution. It is awesome, yes, Jason, I agree. But if you think about it, what's more powerful? To be able to just go from Instagram to Facebook, or to go, that's not announced yet, but it will be. But if you think about it, you can do that now anyways, and have the ability to add in graphics, to add in other features. So that's where, again, it's like for us consumers who are like, yes, I can finally use my phone. But it's like, what if you could use a decent DSLR? What if you could actually, have, features that are insane and still put that to Instagram? And that's where I'm pitching the fact that, again, leveraging services can do that for you. Again, OBS is kind of that middleman between all this stuff because you can do all those things in real time. The prophet of the geeks. But you can't do live videos. In Instagram, you can. And I will prove it. Let's just say, currently you cannot. You're correct. Sorry, Jason. I didn't mean to down it. You cannot go from Instagram to Facebook. You are correct. You will be able to, though. So what it is essentially it's been a leak that came through. Literally, it was the leak came through today from a user. that they had spotted it in the dev pages, and so they noticed that there was a switch that you could add on, and it just makes sense. It's a super easy thing for Instagram to do, and it adds to the stickiness of Instagram. So you'll see it, I guarantee it. If they don't, Facebook is dumb. The news is out there. It should be done. But that's why, again, like, you know, we're talking, if you're going consumer live, great, use your phone, it's fine. But if you want to up the game, you're going to have to jump into a platform. So OBS is a great starter because it's free. Now the learning curve, it's a bit on the steep side because you are leveraging, there's a lot of awesome technologies that are coming in to the actual like OBS software that you have to keep in mind. You've got an audio mixer, there are filters in there. You can add in LUTs to cameras as well. You can add in compressors, noise reduction. I have VST plugins I can add in with literally artificial intelligence doing machine learning that is doing noise reduction and doing voice leveling. You can also use de-essers, declippers, etc. Like any plugin that you can pull in for VST, you're able to use in OBS, which is ridiculous. What's the best streaming platform next to Zoom? Anything that's secure. No, but seriously, no. A good streaming platform, I mean, Zoom is good. Take a look at, a great example is take a look at what does Disney use to stream? And what's ironic is they don't use like the UK used Zoom for streaming and the security sucks. Like they literally did it before Zoom patched, like put passwords automatically on everything. So imagine this, you could literally have somebody, you know, dressed in their sweats, jump in on a parliament meeting like on Zoom. Meanwhile, Disney was, you know, like with who lost their CEO only to come back, so he didn't have to deal with bad news for his employees. He uses Blue Jeans, so that is another secure platform that's out there. You know, again, for a company that has to be crazy secretive with their stuff, you'd think that, again, you'd think like UK Parliament, you know, would be using better technology than Disney, but they're not. So Blue Jeans is one of those places that you could check out. Google Meet is another one. Now, granted, I believe you need to have a Google account for that. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The other things that are available, obviously FaceTime is another one. And then there are these other custom platforms where you can bring in things, which kind of brings me to one of my future goals to hopefully do on this channel, which is to have a live choir on here, in sync, not the group, not in sync, but just they're all in sync and we're broadcasting live to a specific song. So if you have people who are willing to give that a shot, send me a direct message. I'm actually interested in doing that. So yeah, Blue Jeans, Google Meet, which Meet took over Hangouts. FaceTime is another platform. House Party, again, if you were to take it as like you want to use it for live streaming, you want whatever platform is going to basically give you either what you want at the start. Like for tomorrow, I am literally taking a Zoom feed, tearing it all apart, and rearranging it graphically for tomorrow. And I'm doing that in OBS, cropping the pages, putting over graphics and lower thirds and all this stuff. Pretty awesome stuff. Yes, and it does depend. It does depend on what song we do. I did make an NSYNC reference. Great. Well, next is, you know, Macarena. It's great. No, but I mean, there's a lot of powerful things you can do with it. You know, again, I think leveraging, again, you come from this where you have things that are pre-built, and this is kind of where I feel like the sweet spot I have is, which is I'll find pre-existing technologies and then, and use them in ways that people don't see generally. Like, unless you're really just trying to hack stuff together, people aren't doing this. So that's where, again, this whole podcast is literally based on that idea of what can I hack together and use in a different way. So just like I said, for the Animoji little moment that we were doing, you know, where I'm, you know, next to a goat, the whole point of it is to just be able to demo the fact that you can do this at any time you want. You can just do an Animoji next to a goat. You can do max headroom if you want. I could even put different graphics into this, you know, back here, do a kid's show just strictly using Animoji. I do not know about the licensing rights of this, which is why this channel is not monetized. So, you know, don't get mad at me, Apple, for using your technology, okay? It's not my fault you have great face tracking software. But yeah, so, you know, we've kind of talked over the features here. I think the last little piece, now that we've kind of gone into it, are there some certain questions that you guys have? Like for those, I'm thinking of you, Jason. Yes, OBS is free. That was actually a question that I was going to quick answer. Yeah, AJ, what the heck, dude? We can do this. We can make this happen. So yeah, Jason, OBS is a free piece of software. You are able to leverage it, and that's what's awesome about it is you have it's just like when Maya, if you remember this back when Maya, the 3D platform, went free, it was just like, dude, now you have literally no excuse to not be able to edit this. When DaVinci Resolve went free, you're just like, okay, it's really complicated, maybe I'll wait on that. But for those who actually were willing to bite the bullet and go through the complexity, you've got DaVinci Resolve, which is a crazy powerful thing. For me personally, I've used it on everything from music videos to McDonald's commercials, etc. that I was able to take a part in. But the key thing again is like software, if it's available, make use of it and hack it apart. Some of the things, and I will say this, a lot of choirs are not done in. You'll see a lot of churches do this, where they pull these choirs together. You've seen late night shows pull these things together. They are not doing live, like in the traditional sense of they're having multiple different people streaming into a single point. Part of their fear, which some of it is valid fears, is bandwidth will die on one of the artists, and then suddenly you lost an instrument. So I get it, that's a concern. But again, the idea of it being truly live is one of the things where, again, nobody's done that to this point, but that's why it's cool to do it. Katie just wrote, is OBS on the phone or as an app? OBS is not. OBS is strictly a Mac or PC. There are other options out there for the iPhone, but again, very limited. Part of it is, again, the iPhone is generally a capture device and it's a consumption device. The actual creation part, I didn't mean this to be a rumor channel, but I heard today that there is builds out of Xcode on iPad. So that actually, if you were to read between the lines, means that powerful apps like Final Cut could be written for an iPad. They have a mouse. You could have Pro Tools on an iPad. They have a USB-C. Just saying, very fast hard drives on there. You could see OBS getting ported to iPad, but the iPhone, again, there are pieces of software out there, but the power that you're looking for is not going to be there, unfortunately. Any other questions as we continue on, as I continue to ramble here? I'm going to switch, because this is Q&A right now, so we're going to just switch to, the GOAT again, while we're just waiting for questions. You know what, let's go Max here. So if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot them out here. One of the things I will say, and it's actually critical when we talk about OBS, is you need to make sure that your graphics card is actually powerful. Because if you are using an integrated solution from Intel, or just, again, an older computer, the graphics power is not going to be that great. So like right now, I'm actually doing, again, live overlays here over video. And to prove it, again, I'm dragging my head around here and we're talking while I'm dragging, I'm doing this in real time. And granted for me, I'm using an eGPU setup. This is a Mac Mini, so don't knock the Mac Mini when you have, an eGPU with enough power to, go VR if you wanted to. Now, don't make the joke, though, that Macs can't go VR, because it's true. They don't have Steam. They don't have Half-Life Alyx. Don't make fun of that. But there's a lot of cool things you can do. So one of the other things I wanted to... Jennifer said, OBS is an app that connects with your live stream and lets you do Animoji, multiple cameras, etc. Right? Yes, that is correct. A in-depth look, like people still are discovering ways of using the features that exist there, which is, I think, fascinating and a testament to both what you can do. Again, like I said, pulling in a Zoom meeting into OBS and being able to have interviews. That's actually something I'm going to be launching here soon in real time on our channel. So either we'll see Wednesday, Thursday if I try to knock out an actual live interview, but I think that'd be fun. If you have a channel and you want to be actually on here, I'm more than willing to do an actual demo for you guys. and bring you guys in also for a, an interview in real time. I might even interview as an emoji head. I think that would be pretty funny. Or you could interview me as an emoji head, one of the two. But yeah, any other questions here before we kind of close it out? I know I try to keep this episode short, but it always ends up at 45 minutes. Go figure. I'm basically talking the same length of time. You want me to do the dinosaur here? I'm going to actually do something live here. We're going to pull in something live. I'm going to probably screw this up, which is going to be great. But I'm going to pull in a media source here. I'm down for emoji interviews. Okay, Scott, you're on. You're on, dude. You're going to be my first interview as an emoji, and it's going to be awesome. So we're going to go ahead and add in a new source. So one of the powerful things you can do in OBS, like right now I'm still broadcasting, and I'm pulling in things literally live, which is insane. We'll see if I can. You'll know that I pushed it too hard, but right now we're working just fine. If anything, my phone might run out of battery before I actually crash it. So we're going to find a dinosaur. Baby Shark rendition using Baby Shark. I will do that when my kids are here. Let's just say I'll do that then. It looks like... Do I have my correct drive plugged in? Let's see. I'll see what I can find. Let's just go with that. We're going to pull in a different... and I'm totally like just looking dumb here. We're going to put myself in a stormy sea. How about that? This is what I get for like live trying to pull in something in here. So sorry guys for those who were like hanging with me and like wondering why the heck I'm like doing this. But it's because the drive that I was hoping was connected is not, so don't be mad. We're just gonna dive in here. We're gonna try, I will pull in a storm. We'll do that. Why not? It's got nothing better to do here. So you can pull in, again, footage into the viewer window like this. So if you wanted to say, put this around, like I'm literally dragging this in real time. I can move it around as I want. And I can resize it as well. So let's say again, like I'm tired of this blue depressing background. Let's go for something that's even more dangerous. There. All right, now I'm happy here in front of a storm. Look at that, it's great. So all of this stuff, again, because of the powerful GPU that I've got in, I can do that. I'm gonna just be Wilson for a second here. So, very depressing scene. Welcome to 2020. One other interesting thing you can do too, and actually maybe tomorrow I will do this tomorrow, is to actually do video games with an emoji. Oh, you want me to see myself on the beach without an emoji? You just want the beach? Do you not want me on this? That's so sad. Jennifer, come on. Your dream is a stormy beach. That is not good. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this up, and I'm gonna pull myself into frame here. There we go. And we're gonna do both. Why not? So I'm here out in the storm. Look at that. Welcome to 2020. That is right. Welcome to 2020. Just wait, I need to add in aliens here, and then we'll just be completely, be completely ready for 2020. Like, what the heck? I'm gonna actually quick reset this and do something fun that I did yesterday, which was rather hilarious. The audio was giving me trouble, as I mentioned, for those who jumped in. But here's a crazy thing that you can do, again, with just a little bit of effort, a little bit of love. There we go. You don't need to see my ugly face anymore. I get this beautiful, like my wife yesterday said, you look more pretty this way. And I just thought, great. She wants me in plastic, basically. So yeah. The funny thing, again, to keep in mind here is that this is being done in real time. Obviously, audio sync is going to be a little bit off, but an Animoji's, talking and speed is slow anyways. So who cares? But yeah, no, this is one of the funny Spanish, please. So we're going. Vamos a hablar en español, por favor. Vamos a empezar este momento por nuestra gente que está en español. Gracias por viniendo. Estamos poniendo en cabeza gigante. aquí. Este cabeza es... El Salvador joined in. I agree with that. So yeah, you kind of get a glimpse of the powers that you can kind of, utilize here. And this is, again, done in OBS. If this is what I'm able to do with 30 minutes, imagine what you can do with more than 30 minutes. And again, sí, mijo. Thank you, Brian. And actually, to just make it even funnier, I'm going to go ahead and change up my eyewear here. Because, there we go. That feels more me there. All right. There. That feels, much more Beatles, I guess. And for those who are asking, yes, you can do Baby Shark. It's okay. We're going to bring Baby Shark in. What if we pull in... I'm gonna ask now, who would like to see, let's see, what else we got. Actually, now officially, we are in 2020. This completes the 2020 for us all. Welcome to 2020, Earthlings. Can I add someone like you? Yes, actually, you can use any customized emoji in this. Which is hilarious. So right now, if I were to switch to Papa Bear, I can be that. It is just as creepy as you imagine when it's over my head. But again, if you think about it, you can also do this already on the iPhone, but the going live part you can't. And also syncing it with a completely different camera you can't do either. Give me another emoji to jump into. Someone did say to go ahead and do a dinosaur. So I'll go ahead and do a dinosaur for you guys. I think that's fair. Yeah, I never thought I would actually continue to talk, but hey, I've got 7 people here listening to me talk as a dinosaur, so I'm going to keep doing that. If anything, it's going to be great for the thumbnails at the end. But you can kind of see, again, the techniques that I'm utilizing. For those who are in the know, you know what I'm doing. For those who are not, well, there's a reason I pick dark sunglasses. I'll give you a hint. That's the hint. Jennifer, I can't tell you that. I'll tell you that next episode. OBS. And again, it's the filters, it's the abilities inside of it that it has are insane. There's just crazy things you can do. Como un gato. So, all right, guys. Well, I think we have gone long enough for everybody here. I think for sure we need to do Kids First Live as a cat. I think that would be hilarious. I think also, there are plenty of other options here, but let's end it with that. Let's end it with the cat, or maybe with the pig, or perhaps a. We'll go with. There we go. Perfect. I'll be here. Just Apple. Well, if you think about it, it actually has nothing to do with the Apple emojis. And actually, that is a great question as well, Brian, for you throwing that in. So there is actually software out there as well that can do facial tracking through the iPhone. Because again, Apple spent millions of dollars to bring basically facial tracking to the masses. So yes, you can pull in other animations. I should start up a Patreon page so I can show you guys how that's done, because it's going to cost me about $800 to even just get, or actually no, it wasn't $800, it was $2,000 to get in the door on that one. But you can put in your own custom 3D models and basically do stuff like this. That's pretty sweet. So if you want to see that, I will create a Patreon and you guys can fund it. No? Okay, maybe it's because I'm a creepy dragon. Let me pick something that's really cute. How about a sad koala? All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us here on LeCape. I will give you guys one more second before we go out to throw me a question. If you have enjoyed what we have done, please like, share, subscribe. For those who are on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the hearts. I feel them as you give them. So don't think that it doesn't matter. It does. But from me to you, thank you guys for joining. I know I've tried to be as clever as a fox here, and I'll continue my dad jokes here. You've donated your whole stimulus check because of the koala. That is awesome. Let's make it happen. All right, so just DM me at my Venmo account is fox. ... No, don't send it to there. That's not my actual one. But anyways, guys, any other questions here? One more second, and then we are going to head out. Until tomorrow at 9 p.m., we are going to be going live at 9, talking over topics, and I believe tomorrow I'm going to talk over... I lost my Animoji. I'm so sad. I'm going to be talking over, going live to Instagram as well as doing an interview this week. And we're going to try and basically do some crazy things in real time. So thank you guys for joining. Please, if you have not hit the like button, it does make me feel good. There's nothing more sucky than doing a podcast and having nobody actually press that button. So it hurts. But if you really enjoyed it, appreciate any comments that you guys have done. Why didn't I choose a tiger? That's really sad. I will leave that for the next episode. We will do tiger. The entire episode will be a tiger. Thanks, Netflix. But no, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you've missed out on any other podcasts, I still have 10 other episodes from the past few weeks that we've been doing this, and I will continue doing it until April. At the end of April, things change up, and we will give you guys that new schedule. But find us here on YouTube. It's LeCape Inc. On Facebook, LeCape Inc. Instagram, you get the gist. We will be posting up live. And until then, thank you guys again, and we will talk to you guys soon. One thing I do as well at the end of all these podcasts, for those who are part of the church, I actually do end it in prayer, because guess what? Prayer does actually help. So if you're not in the church, that's okay. You have to listen to these things anyways, so it's cool. But I'm going to end in prayer for everybody here. Father God, I thank you so much because tonight is a special, unique night for everybody's lives. We know that there are people who are going through difficult things. And we know that, Lord, these moments of levity, of talking heads and koalas and other things can help us to just have a bit of moment of just thinking about something else. We pray for those who are in need and hurting, that you would bring provision. Help us, God, as the church, to help others, to find ways to bring hope and life to others. And we pray, God, for each person who has joined us on the podcast, wherever they are at in this journey of life, that you would help them more to find you and to see hope, God, in the midst of this season. And we thank you, Lord, for the fact that you are rebuilding communities through your people and for the people around us. We thank you, God, in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Central. And until then, it's been a pleasure.